Welcome back to the ProPA podcast. I'm your host, Prof G, and this is another episode in our MSK101 series, your go-to for high-yield musculoskeletal content from the PANCE blueprint. Whether you're prepping for the PANCE, PANRAE, or you just want a solid review, you're in the right place. In this episode, we'll cover high-yield facts about Rickets, a pediatric metabolic bone disease, to help you ace your boards and understand it clinically. Let's dive in. Did you know that rickets, once thought to be nearly eradicated in developed countries, is actually making a comeback in some populations due to vitamin D deficiency, especially in breastfed infants, children with limited sun exposure, or those following strict vegan diets? Recognizing this condition early can make a huge difference in preventing lifelong bone deformities. All right, so let's look at the kinder patho. What is rickets? Well, rickets is the pediatric counterpart to osteomalacia in adults. It occurs due to defective mineralization of the growing bone, especially at the epiphyseal growth plates, because of vitamin D deficiency or related metabolic abnormalities. You can think of it as soft bones during development, leading to bowing and deformities because of the unmineralized osteoid. So, who does this affect? Well, most commonly, it is seen in infants and children, especially in exclusively breastfed infants without vitamin D supplementation, in kids with limited sunlight exposure, those with malabsorption syndromes like celiac disease, and in premature infants. So, what are the etiologies? Well, nutritional vitamin D deficiency is the most common cause worldwide. There's also genetic disorders of vitamin D metabolism or phosphate regulation, like X-linked hypophosphatemic rickets. And we also see it in kids with chronic kidney disease or malabsorption, like cystic fibrosis or celiac disease. So, what's the clinical presentation? Well, we see bowing of the legs, also known as genuvarum. We see widening of the wrists and ankles. We see the ricketic rosary, which is prominent costochondral junctions at the rib cage, and frontal bossing of the skull. We also see delayed fontanelle closure and delayed growth or failure to thrive. So, what does the workup look like? Well, we see decreased serum 25 hydroxyvitamin D. We see decreased calcium or phosphate depending on the type. And we also see elevated alkaline phosphatase and elevated parathyroid hormone or PTH. X-rays show cupping and fraying of the metaphysis, especially at the wrists and the knees. So what about treatment? Well, vitamin D supplementation of 400 international units per day prophylactically at-risk infants is considered the first-line treatment. Calcium supplementation is also considered, as well as treating the underlying condition. For example, phosphate supplements in hypophosphatemic rickets or calcitriol in renal rickets. Next, let's look at some clinical pearls. Breast milk lacks sufficient vitamin D, so supplementation is key in infants that are exclusively breastfed. Rickets also presents with bony deformities rather than fractures, which are more common in osteogenesis imperfecta or abuse. Look for ricketic rosary plus bowing of the legs plus widened wrist as buzzwords. Okay, so book med versus street med. Well, the book med is going to say vitamin D deficiency rickets shows up on exams with classic bow legs and widened growth plates. Street med, in real world practice, you'll see subtle signs early on: poor growth, irritability, and some motor delays. Pediatricians should screen and supplement early, especially in high risk populations. All right, now let's look at some practice questions. Question 1. A 10-month-old infant presents with bowed legs, widened wrists, and a palpable swelling at the costochondral junctions. Labs reveal low calcium, low phosphate, and elevated alkaline phosphatase. What's the most likely diagnosis? Is it A, osteogenesis imperfecta, B, vitamin D deficient rickets, C, hypothyroidism, or D, lead poisoning? Well, this one wasn't too bad. It's B, vitamin D deficient rickets. This is the classic presentation and lab findings for nutritional rickets. Question 2. Which of the following radiographic findings is most consistent with rickets? Is it A, onion skinning of the periosteum, B, pencil and cup deformity, C, cupping and fraying of the metaphysis, or D, subchondral sclerosis? I'll give you a few seconds. If you said C, cupping and fraying at the metaphyses, you are correct. These are classic findings on X-ray. All right, so as we've seen throughout this process, early recognition and prevention are key. Rickets is largely preventable with proper vitamin D supplementation, so don't miss the signs, especially in high-risk kids. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Pro PA podcast, MSK101, where we break down the PANCE blueprint one topic at a time. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more episodes, and I'll catch you next time. Remember, this is the Pro PA podcast, where future pros in medicine are made. I'll see you in the next one.